Boker Tov Yeladim.
Shalom, Rabbi.
Shalom, Rabbi. Shalom, Rabbi.
Shalom, Yeshua. And Shmooey Wooey. All right, everybody, turn on your cameras. Let's get our day started. All right, we got the Sanchez land, the land. Look, it's Lila. Hi, Lila. David and Dayon, the double D's. The Mia and Leveroni, baloney. And Victoria, no J&J. I thought they were going to start our day here. But no J&J. They're late again. All right, so we'll start out with Sanchez land. Arlena, pray. Sanchez, do the Shema. And Arlena, do the 10 Commandments.
Thank you, Lord, for this morning. Thank you, Lord, for this class. We have to pay attention, and we always listen, and keep all the people safe, and we don't steal to other people. Amen. Amen. Right? Shema Yisrael, Yehovah Eloheinu, Yehovah Echad, Baruch Shemon Malkuto, L'olam Vayed. Amen. Hear Israel, the Lord our God is one God. Brought in the land of Egypt, do have any gods before us, no make any idols before God, no need the Lord name in vain, keep the Shabbat holy, honor your mother and father, do not murder, do not commit adultery, do not steal, do not lie, and do not covet.
Wow, aren't you getting pretty smart, Miss Arlena? Everybody give Arlena the big finger. The big finger. Gigantic finger. All righty. So, let's hear about some races. Let's hear about the Mia and Lev race. Who won the Mia and Lev race?
Me. I won. By a nose, actually. It was by a nose.
By a nose.
My dad was recording it, and it looked like as if it was a tie because both of our legs went like this. But Mia jumped.
I didn't jump.
Yes, you did.
I took a little leap.
No, you
Well,
jumped.
it doesn't matter. She won. Did she win? Did she cross the finish line first, or did you cross the finish line first?
I almost did, but
No, that wasn't the question. Who crossed the line first?
Mia.
Okay. Did you give her her dollar?
Well, my mom has them.
Okay. Don't give any. Okay. She won. Why she won? Because, well, she should have won by a longer shot, but me is a bookworm. Okay. And Lev is a athlete type of person. But Mia had an unfair advantage. Her legs are longer. All right. Now, you got to give her your dollar. You got to give her a dollar, and the dollar. She can buy an ice cream or something. What's a dollar? Maybe a candy bar. All right. Let's go over to J&J. J&J. Jumpin' J&J, Jacob and Jeremiah, tell me about your race.
Good morning, Rabbi.
Good morning, boys. Jeremiah, tell me about your race.
My mom couldn't take us today, so she said that she's gonna take us today.
You didn't have your race?
Not yet.
After all that talking, all that posturing, Mom messed our plans up. Ah! Diablo! Diablo. Oh, after all that planning, Jeremiah still thinks he's going to win. All right. And Jacob's like, no. Well, now we got to wait a whole nother day to hear the outcome of the race. Here I was going to have you give your dollar away and say, Jacob, you lost to Jeremiah, give him $2. But no, Mom messed up our plans. Always the women messing up the plans. No. All right. All right. So, anybody else do a race? Did anybody else do a race? Is there a hand in the Sanchez land?
Hello?
Yes. But I thought I saw a hand. Did you guys do a race?
No.
No, you didn't. You can't beat Arlena, Ben.
Oh! No, we didn't do the race. We'll do it today. It was raining today for us. Yesterday, sorry.
All right. All right, so let's start our day off with another scripture, something the Lauras need to learn. Okay. Yeshua, read verse 2. Ayakra 25, verse 2.
Tell the people of Israel, when you enter the land I am giving you, there the land itself is to observe and Shabbat of rest for Adonai.
What do you think that means, Yeshua? What did you just read? What do you think that means?
That you had to learn the land rest.
What, should we give the land a pillow?
No. Like to produce.
Tell me, what are you supposed to do, man? What are you supposed to do, man? What do you got on your shirt? What's on your shirt? Oh, it's that. It's armor all. Oh, you got bunny ears or something. So tell me what you got to do.
You had to let the land rest because it's not ready yet. It's not planted.
Okay, so let's try to figure out a word because I think you're missing it. Don't understand a word. That's okay. All right, let's see. Dayon, what does it mean to observe? Let the land itself is to observe a Shabbat rest. What do you think that means, Dan? What's your mom telling you?
When the owner they can't harvest for 7 years.
The owner can't harvest for 7 years?
I mean,
What?
1 year.
What?
I mean, 1 year.
Say it
For
again.
Shabbat.
they can't they can't anybody can't work on Shabbat means they can't harvest on Shabbat.
So the land is observe a 1 day rest.
Yes.
Okay, well, no, but that was a good try. Let's see. Let's see who we got here. Kevin, 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 Kevin Lemeland. Kevin, what do you think this verse means, Kevin?
God is finding a day that the people of Israel so then they can come to the promised land.
Okay, what do we got to do with the land? Like if you guys move to a house and it's got a couple acres worth of land, what's it saying you need to do with the land?
Do Shabbat.
So the land gets 1 day rest?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Mike? Is Michael with you?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was Sarah's head. Well, I saw it was stop. Now I see Mike. Mike! Mikey, Mikey, Mikey. What do you think? What do you think that this verse means? What the land itself is to observe a Shabbat rest for Jehovah. What's the land doing? Is the land sleeping?
Observing.
Observing what? Observing you pick your nose?
Shabbat. Shabbat.
What's the rest? What's the word rest mean? What's the land doing?
I don't know.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Jeremiah, Mr. Speedy Gonzalez, Mr. I think I'm gonna beat my brother in the race today. If mom takes us to the park. Okay, what do you think the land is doing, Jeremiah? What what's the land resting? And why? Or how long does it gotta rest?
I think it means that um you don't plant anything and you just wait for all the plants to grow.
If you don't plant anything, how are the plant's gonna grow?
No, because before you you let it rest, you have to let it you put in the plants and then you let the plants grow
So you
for
put the
any
plant.
different plants.
Oh,
And that when and the rest is while the plants grow.
so you put the plants in the ground, and then you just watch them grow. You go,
Now you you go and do the Shabbat, and the land is just there, and let it grow, and let the plants grow.
you let the plants grow for 1 day.
No, like a few days.
Few days. Okay, a few days. All right. Jacob? What do you think?
I think it means it's saying like when you enter a new land, um you you are to like leave the land there when it's Shabbat time. You can't plant anything or grow anything when it's the Shabbat rest, like on Shabbat.
Well, aren't aren't you? Isn't God growing the plants? Because you just put the seed in, right?
Mm-hmm.
God does the rest.
Yes.
So you can't plant on the Shabbat. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you can't do any work on Shabbat.
Well, it says the land itself is to observe a Shabbat rest for Jehovah. What do you think the land is doing?
The land is um
Okay, this is a hard concept for everybody.
the land is like to rest. It's like resting. It's not growing. It becomes dull, and then when Shabbat comes, and when Shabbat's over, then the plants they'll start growing again.
How does a plant know it's Shabbat? Do plants think?
No.
And how did the plant know it's a Shabbat? You're next, Hadassah.
Plants not Shabbat by
They look on their Outlook. They check their watches. Plants got watches.
God, maybe like I don't know, like makes them dull and brings them back alive after Shabbat's over.
Wouldn't that be a lot of work?
Maybe.
All right. All right, let's see. Hadassah was wiggling her hand, and then Lev is next after Hadassah.
You gotta wait, like God give us the house, so we gotta wait more and more for more grass grow, and we gotta wait for Shabbat passes, and then we can grow our plants.
So you gotta wait one day.
No, one year, 1 year,
1 ear.
1 year.
One. Are you sure? Hey, Lev. Lev, do you agree with Hadassah, or tell me what's this scripture mean? Land itself is to observe a Shabbat rest for Jehovah.
What I think this means is that when when you enter the land, when you're gonna enter the land, the land is supposed to observe a Shabbat rest for Adonai. It's basically like us because it says 6 days you shall work and 7 day I mean and seven and the seventh day is to be a Shabbat of complete rest. Same with the plants, but it's different. 6 years it's supposed to produce fruit. The seventh year it's gonna have to be resting from producing all that fruit. Not like with a pillow though.
What about a blanket?
You can't have a blanket that big.
Okay, so you can't have a blanket that big? Okay, well, let me ask you another question. How do you know what year it is when it says, tell the people of Israel when you enter the land I'm giving you, the land itself is to observe a Shabbat rest for Jehovah? How do you know what year it is when you moved in?
People don't miss it in the last family they're moving.
So you got to ask the people you're taking their house from, saying, we're kicking you out of your land. Tell me what year it is before I throw you off your land. Tell me what year it is. You'll go, it's 2020. You're going to be like, Zach, huh? Huh? Oh, oh.
Well,
Lion knows. Mia jumped.
I think
It's a hard one. It's okay. It's all something we're all gonna learn. You got some of it, but
I think it's gonna be if they entered the land, if like it was like on this year, if they entered the land this year, then it would be 2028 that the plants would rest. And I don't even think that the world will be existing.
well, the world's got to be existing. Third temple's got to go up, and then 7 years after that, then we have 7 years after the temple goes up. Once the offerings happen, once that first offering happened, boom, boom, bam, bam. All right, let's see. Let's see who I haven't had. Let's see. Allie Mae Randall. Allie Mae, Allie Mae, Allie Mae. Good morning, Allie Mae.
Morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Good.
Is it still hot and sticky and icky over by you?
Yes.
It's called summer. It's called August in North Carolina. Ah! It's a good thing you're in an air-conditioned store.
Not so air conditioned. Not really. Mom likes to keep the heat kind of up more, like in the 70s, because whenever it's in the 60s, she always gets cold. And me and my dad are like sweating.
Okay. Well, that's what fans are for. You got to have your own personal fan. All right, so tell me if you can understand this verse. The land itself is to observe a Shabbat rest for Yehovah.
um, I think that means like that you.
Oh, what are you thinking?
Yes.
Did you have your coffee yet?
I don't drink coffee.
Well, see, there's your problem.
I don't like coffee.
See, there's your second problem. I don't think I can ever come see you again. You don't drink coffee. You don't like coffee. I don't know. I gotta see you ever again. Okay, so you don't know the answer. Let's see if David, David, David Vincente Jr. Jr. Can you help me out with this? And then Ariel, you're next. David.
Yes, Rabbi.
Can you give me an answer to this question?
Okay. What question?
7 times 9.
Wait, what?
Don't know it.
7 times 9.
63.
Yeah, 63. Wait, why you that? Wait.
9 times 9.
81.
9 times 9.
81.
What is pi?
3.14, etc.
Wow. Okay. Who's going to win the World Series?
Only God knows.
Very good. Okay. What's your favorite color?
Teal?
Teal? Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food? Mom's cooking.
Other above.
What?
Well, I like what my mom cooks.
That's always your answer when mom's listening. When somebody says, "What's your favorite food?" You said, "Mom's cooking."
Yes.
Okay. Say, what, David, what's your favorite food?
Whatever my mom likes to cook.
And a shop that we used to like a lot.
All right. So now we're going to get back to the scriptures, David. Now that we got you in the ball game here, the land itself is to observe a Shabbat rest for Jehovah. What? Nobody's giving me an answer. I can't get an answer. What's supposed to happen here? What do you think it's talking about, Mr. David B?
Well, it says that they have to tell the people of Israel that the land is to leave rest, that no one is to sow on the land
Rabbit.
on the Shabbat.
Okay, so the rest. So if we enter the land that's a Shabbat, we can't do it. But if we enter the land on a Tuesday, we can plant.
Yes, because Shabbat is a holy day.
Okay. Okay, let's see. I said Ariel is next. Ariel. Ariel! Yelling Ariel. Ariel, help me out here, man. What's 9 times 9?
81,
9 times 4.
36.
What's the square root of 3?
3. It doesn't have a square root.
Little Darwin, hush.
Oh, he talks so much like him.
He's a clone of Darwin.
I'm just starting to believe it.
Well, you look at him. All you got to do is put a little maybe cut some of your hair off, Tiffany, and put it around your brother's face. It'll look just like Darwin.
I mean, I believe it. Look,
Where's little Darwin?
he's in his crib, like across the room, and you can still hear him.
Well, he must be hungry or gassy or something. All right, Ariel, help me out with this land thing here. The land itself to observe a Shabbat rest for Jehovah. What everybody's thinking? Okay, if we move into the land, it's Saturday. We can't Shabbat it. We can't plant it. Hey, it's Minnie Darwin. Everybody say hello to Minnie Darwin. Hey, Minnie Darwin.
You want to say something?
Darwin. Mini me.
Say something.
Look, he's a clone of his dad. Okay. Thank you, Darwin. Little Mr. Darwin. Okay. We got it's all, no. We should have done, Tiffany. Put your hair by his chin, and
Oh yeah, that's probably.
then it'd be like, oh my goodness, it's Darwin.
It's Darwin.
Okay. So Arya, what does this verse mean, man?
Well, I think because since it was like a Jew buying it or Hebrew, I think the people before that didn't do the Sabbath, and if they did, I think it's like give it one land the rest so they can gain its strength when you farm it.
All right, so explain that a little. How long you got to give it rest? Just a Shabbat, just a Saturday?
Well, not just a Shabbat. I think it's meaning like a full year of like not farming it.
Are you sure? Or are you guessing?
I'm sure.
Huh?
I'm sure.
So if it's 2020, so how? So when can you plant?
2021.
So in January 2021 you can plant?
Yeah.
Okay, you got only partial right.
Okay.
What do you think, Tiffany?
I mean, yeah, it says. I mean, like with the Laras, since they just bought their land, they don't know when was the last time it had. It's a resting year, so they're gonna have to start with this year as it, and they're gonna have to wait till next year of when they bought the land.
So they bought the house last week or 2 weeks ago. When can they plant?
Since it's August, they can. I think they can plant next August.
Are you sure?
I mean, yeah. See, yeah.
Okay. Tiffany's like, yeah, I guess, yeah. All right, Mia.
Okay, get this straight. Let's get this straight. So So when it says the land, when you enter the land I'm giving you, the land itself is to observe Shabbat rest for Jehovah. We take it with the Lyras here. They bought their house. I don't know when they did, but from the time they bought their house, or I'm sorry, when they move into their house, say August, say they move sometime in August, this month, then they have to wait a year, like what Tiffany said. I have to wait. They have to wait from August 2019 to August 2020. The land has to have a year of just a rest before they can plant, because they're not sure if the previous owners had had given it like any Shabbat resting years at all. Now, and then from the time on, in August 2020, then they'll be able to plant. And then from that time, they begin their Shemitah. I mean, not it, that begins counting of the years before the Shemitah. So for their Shemitah would be August 2027.
Okay. All right. So it's 2020 now. Okay. So everybody listen up. It's very important. Because God, Jehovah is saying that the land needs to rest a full year. So the Laras bought their house 2 weeks ago. Okay, so it's August. So they got to wait full 12 months before they can plant anything in the ground. Okay, the land can grow by itself. That's God doing it. But you can't plant for 1 full year. Okay, so that while you're waiting, that is your Shemitah year, meaning the rest year. The Shemitah meaning you're letting the land rest. So from 2019 to 2020, that is the Shemitah year for the Lara farm. Okay, Casa Lara Farms. Okay, from August 19 to August 20, they're going to let their land look like this picture. Okay, everybody look at the picture. They're not going to plant. They're just going to let it sit there. Okay, they're not going to plant anything. They're not going to plant any seeds or nothing. Okay, Jeremiah and Jacob, listen up. Jacob's in the bathroom. Okay, it's very important, everybody, because Rav will. Now, another part that we're going to go is that when you do this for your land on the 6th year, the Lord said He's going to give a harvest to last 2 years. Okay, Rav will, let me see if I can show you the picture. Rav will showed me this is only partial of what he can the other day. He's got the big farm, and he's got a little farm. Okay, 4, 8, 12, 16, 24, 16, 20, 24, 28. Let me bring the big. Those are all organic beans from his little 1 acre farm, and that's only a third of what he's harvesting. Okay. So they're harvesting their beans, and they harvested tomatoes and many other things in their garden. Okay, and the Lord says, I'm gonna give you 2 years work, because He's not gonna plant. Okay, once this harvest is over, once the summer is over, He's not gonna plant. Okay, until after next summer. Okay, so the Lord is saying here, and it's very important to know, because if you ever get a land, you're going to say, well, what am I going to eat? The Lord will bring up the food itself. Okay, so when you get your own land, like the Laras got their own land, so they're living the American dream. They came from the Dominican Republic to America, and now they're going to have their own gigantic farm. Okay, awesome. Blessings from God. God said, Jehovah says, tell the people of Israel, I'm Yisrael, when you enter the land I am giving you. Okay, so the Laras are entering the land that He's giving them. Land itself is to observe a Shabbat rest. So full year. So when the time you move in, from that point, from 1 full year, 12 full months, okay? After the 12 full months, you can plant if it's, you want to plant if it's going to grow. Okay, you might have to wait a little bit longer, okay? But you have to let the land wait 1 full year. You have to do that every 7 years. So you can plant for 6 years and harvest for 6 full years. 6 full years, okay? And then you let the land rest again. The land needs to sleep for a little bit. And you can put all the fertilizer you want and try to make the land grow, but if you do what God says, then it does it naturally. Okay? Does everybody understand that? Give me a thumbs up. Mr. David, do you understand that, Mr. David? You're not listening. Dayon, do you understand it? If you do, give me a thumbs up.
Something to say. Is it bad if we just growed a little garden by accident? We didn't know. But we didn't live in this house more than 1 year.
Well, you broke the law.
Last July we lived here.
And you planted in the spring of this year?
Yeah.
Well,
Summer.
Yeah, you broke the law. So you have to do an inadvertent offering. So I'll talk to your dad about doing it. So yeah, Leviticus chapter 4 and Leviticus chapter 5 that we already went over. Inadvertent error. So you made a mistake. But God says what you have to do when you make a mistake. Okay? All right. Let's move on to the next part. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. Okay. Now, let's look at this. Whoa! All right, Dayon, read verse 3 and 4. Backward 25, verse 3 and 4.
6 years you will sow your field. 6 years you will prune your grapevines.
Prune.
Prune your grapevines and gather their produce. Leviticus 25 verse 4. But in the 7th year is to be Shabbat of complete rest. For the land is Shabbat for Adonai. You will neither sow your field nor prune your grapevines.
Thank you, Dayon. Thank you, Dayon. Okay, Ben. Ben, what do you think this means? What do you think? What did Dayon explain to me what Dayon read?
It means like you can't grow crops on the 7th day, like on Shabbat.
Can't grow crops on the 7th day?
Like it says, Shabbat for Adonai, you will neither sow your field nor prune your grapevines. So like don't do anything. Don't do like it's telling us like you could do work like on the other days. Like you could sow your field, you can gather their produce, but on the 7th day you can't do any of that.
Excuse me, Benjamin. What does the word YEARS spell? YEARS.
YEARS. Years.
Okay. So read verse 3.
Verse 6 years you will sow your field. 6 years you will prune your grapevines and gather your produce.
What does the word sow mean? SOW.
So, um, uh,
You want to talk, Aria?
to sow means to plant.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, so 6 years you'll do what to your fields?
So sow.
Okay. In 6 years you're going to prune your grapevines. Okay, now read verse 4, Ben.
But in the 7th year is to be a Shabbat of complete rest. For the land, a day, a Shabbat for Adonai. You will neither sow your field nor prune your grapevine.
Okay, so what do these two verses mean, Benjamin?
So these verses mean like you you can uh
You can
no you can like produce and sow your field for 6 years, but not on the 7th year.
What do you mean?
So like not you can do all these stuff, but like you can do your work on for 6 years, but on the 7th year it's like to be a complete rest.
Okay, pretty good. Jeremiah, what do you think these two verses mean?
I think it means that it's like with us because it's 8, it's like 7, it's 6 days that we work, and then on the 7th we rest. So it's like the same thing.
So on the seventh day, you're letting the land. You're not harvesting. You don't do anything on the seventh day of the land.
Yes. I mean,
What
it's
does what
7th
does?
year. So
Excuse me.
I mean, like in the 7th year.
Well, explain it to me, Jeremiah.
I mean,
Explain to me the two pictures.
I think the two pictures. One is like a person's like planting. The other one is like it's like showing some how much of somebody how much of the harvest.
Wrong button. Let me bring back the other picture. Blink, blink, blink. Okay. What do you think, Jacob? What do you think these two verses mean?
I think it means like if means like on the just like when we do Shabbat for a week. 6 days we work, 7th day we rest for Shabbat. And, and just like the same thing, but for the land, but in years. 6 years we work and collect the crops when they grow, and then on the 7th year we let the land rest. And we do
Why,
not give it a blank.
why do you think we do that, Jacob? Victoria, you're next.
Because it's a Shabbat. It's a Shabbat of complete rest for Adonai.
Why do you think the Lord is saying for 6 years you can plant and harvest corn and all sorts of wheat and all different sorts of great things to eat? And then the seventh year, he's saying, It's a
I
Shabbat.
guess he thinks that's enough time for him. That's enough time for collecting our crops, working and harvesting, and then on the 7th year you'll have enough crops to eat for the 7th year. Like let's
You're
say
not going to plant anything.
no, because God is like gonna. God is like I guess he wants the land to rest. Let's say like for example the 7th year will be a Shabbat for the land. Like the seventh on the 7th year you have enough crops after all that planning and working in the field for the 6 years. You'll have enough crops on the 7th. So you want to like take a break from working and the land to rest, and you'll have enough crops to eat.
Okay, so we want you to get a rest. Okay, Victoria, what do you think about these two verses?
I agree with Jacob. I think it's like a day of rest for like the plants, so it's like on the Shabbat. So for us, every 7 days, it's a day of rest for us. So since like the garden or like yeah, what you're planting, some like it takes like almost a year for like everything to grow because like it takes around like 6 months for some plants to grow and like corn and those things. So it's like almost a year. And so after 6 years, it will be a day of rest for the garden.
So just for one day, or how long?
A year. So it would be, yeah, a year.
Okay, very good, Victoria. Everybody look at the pictures, okay? What happens to the land? Okay, everybody look at the picture. Look at it real good. The one on the right, let me get my little marker thing here. There we go. There's my marker. Okay, there's the one on the right. Now what the man is he's putting dirt on the plant because he's trying to save the plant. Okay? This is these are little plants, but that's not gonna be enough for people to eat. Okay? So this is something that's called a drought. Okay? And the Lord sends a drought, and He sends famine on the land when we don't follow His word. So if you plant on the 7th year, and this is a picture from something called the Dust Bowl. In the 1920s, we had a Dust Bowl in America where all the crops died. We're close to that this year. God flooded. But we need to, when we follow the Lord, so it said 6 years you will sow. So for 6 years you can plant, and then you can get all this fruit. Okay, all these pumpkins and all these other gourds and all these other, nuts. This is squash up here, big squash. Okay, and I think this is a red gourd. Okay, this is like a fall harvest. Okay, it's a really big fall harvest. Okay, the Lord says for 6 years I'm going to give you food, and you can prune your grapevines. That means you can take the grapes off your vines. Okay, and gather their produce, just not on the Shabbat. Okay, but the 7th year. So our children, listen up. Okay, because you're going to be doing this. Okay, and then the Lord will bless your home. Let's see, there they are. Okay. Okay, let me just move the mouse here. Okay. So here, the 7th year is a complete rest. Complete rest. That means no planting. Let me go back to the other picture. Okay. So here, this is the 7th year. You just let things grow with themselves. You don't do any planting. Okay? You don't do any planting. God will allow food to come up that you can eat, but you don't do any planting. Okay? So here, so this man kept planting and planting and planting. Okay? And this is what Americans are doing still. And after a while, God says, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to give my land, because God owns the whole earth. So he says, I'm going to give my land a rest. So he brings a drought. So you can't plant anything. But Rav Will, over at his farm, they've been doing the Shemitah. Okay, so this coming year, after this harvest, will be his Shemitah from the time he took over the land from his family. Okay, so he has been getting a super huge harvest this year. Because the Lord said, now let's move to the next one. If you follow what I'm saying, now Mia, read verse 8 through 10.
You're to count 7 Shabbats of years. 7 times 7 years. That is 49 years. Then, on the 10th day of the 7th month, on Yom Kippur, you're to sound the blast of the shofar. You are to sound the shofar all through your land. And you are to consecrate the 50th year, proclaiming freedom throughout the land to all its inhabitants. It will be a yovel for you. You will return everyone to the land he owns, and everyone is to return to his family.
Okay, now we're going to take this concept a little deeper. So we're going a little bit higher for you kids, but it's all about planting. Okay, so now each of your 7 years, plan for 6 years, 6 full years. In 7th, you let the land rest. Okay, that's what we had here. So we start off here. And now, what's 7 times 7, Lev?
49.
Isn't it 63?
That is still
43.
42?
43.
7 times 7.
Huh. 22.
Give her a second, Jacob.
49.
You sure it's not 63? Not 42?
49.
What's 7 times 6?
46, I think. No. 40. 42.
Allie's waving her fingers there. All right. So, Jeremiah, what's 7 times 7?
49.
Are you sure?
Yes.
What's 7 times 6?
42.
You sure?
Yes.
I'm going to turn up my volume to see if it's you. 7 times 5.
32.
You right, Jacob?
Hmm?
Is he right?
No.
What's 7 times 5, Jeremiah? 74?
30.
He said 34.
I said 35.
Okay. And what's 7 times 7?
49.
Okay. That's why you see the 49 here, okay? Guys got to know how to count, okay? You count 7 Shabbats of years. 7 times 7 years. That is 49 years. So the Lord knew that there'd be a lot of people that didn't like math, so he wrote it out a bunch of times. Okay? So you're going to have 7 Shemitah years. Okay? Then on the 10th day of the 7th month, Yom Kippur, you're to sound the blast on the shofar and to sound the shofar all throughout the land. And to consecrate the 50th year. Okay? So the 49, so you're going to have 2 years, almost 3 full years. Okay, the 49th year is the Shemitah, 50th is the Jubilee year, and then you're not going to get any produce until the 51st year. Okay? So every 7 times the Lord says, let it rest a double time. Okay? And then in Ravel hasn't been there that many years. Okay? So I don't know how it's going to last. But what happens is that you get a super, super big harvest that next time around. And the next part that we're going to touch on just a little bit today, and we'll do more about it tomorrow. Okay? Now in Israel, if you became poor, you can sell your family land to pay your debt. Sheva, what are you doing? Okay? You can sell your land, but it was still your land. It was like you were giving it over to somebody to use, pay your price. Okay? But on the 50th year, you sound the shofar, proclaiming the year of Jubilee. So if you had sold yourself to be a slave, and slavery is biblical, okay? And somebody tells you, we can't make somebody a slave. No, slavery is biblical. Okay, but you can only sell yourself to be a slave for 7 years. Okay, then if you want to still keep being a slave, you can say, yes, I want to stay a slave. But in the 7th year, or if the year of Jubilee comes up even before that, the captives are set free. So let's say you sold your land and it was a 48th year. So then you only have to do 49. And in the 50th year, you're set free. Okay. So here the Lord is saying, you let the land lay every 7th year. And when you do 7 times 7, 49, and you let it lay rest the 49th and the 50th. Okay, for 2 years. Okay, and then everybody is to return back to their own land back in Israel, because you got land if you're part of a tribe. All the Hebrews, all the people from Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, they got land in Israel, and they went back to their family. All right, we're going to do more about this tomorrow. Let me take this off the screen. Let me take this off the screen. Let's make you guys big over here. Okay. I'm thinking of a number of 1 to 10. Who wants to close us in prayer? Jeremiah was first.
Seven.
You got it right, because we were talking about 7. All right, Jeremiah, close us in prayer.
Thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for everything that you have given us. Thank you for this day. Please bless us and let us have a good day. Don't let the distract us. In the name of Yeshua. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Go do your race, Jacob and Jeremiah.
Shalom.
Shalom, Havarim.